We are at Purveyor in the East Village. I'm Eva. I'm back here with the fabulous Poor People podcast team, and I am going to make a little wine flight. And we do have a wine flight option. It is three 3-ounce tastings, and you can choose, or you can let us choose, whatever you feel most comfortable with. I'm gonna do a quick little 3 sampler. Starting with, I don't have my gas on. You can't pour from a system if you don't have gas on. It's the same as like a beer tap system. We're pouring wine in a keg format using a special gas blend that helps displace so that it comes from the tap, which is why we can offer 15 different by the glass options. And starting off with Albarino, which is a white wine native to Spain, but this one is being produced in California by a husband and wife couple. Purveyor Rosé, a little bit of sweetness, lots of ripe strawberry. And then finishing off with the Malbec, which is from France, the Côte region. You don't have to drink from the little tasting samples, but you can pour it into the glass, you can jump around, you can start usually with whites and then go on to reds, but the best part about a flight is that you can try whatever you want. Come on down.
Welcome to Poor People. I'm Jaydn.
I'm Mia.
I'm Eva.
And we are the Poor People. And we're here at Purveyor today with Eva. So yeah, this is a really cool spot in here. Like all the wine and everything. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about this place. Like what's the most unique thing about this place and yourself? And we'll just let you take the floor.
So my name's Eva. I'm the general manager here at Purveyor, which has been in the East Village for about, give or take, 4 to 5 years. We had the fortunate luck of opening in 2020. But we've kind of always tried to be just like a neighborhood wine bar, casual spot, with good food and then lots of wine options on tap. The focus with the wine is definitely to showcase like lesser known producers, also like small handcrafted batches, with a focus on organic and biodynamic, but not exclusively. Just showing the wide world of wine that's out there.
Yeah.
We do also have, of course, beer and liquor, so, nobody's left out. And I would say charcuterie and Spanish paella are kind of what we're known for.
Okay. Spanish paella.
Yeah, that's our little Friday specialty.
Okay.
Yeah, starts at 5:30. It's a solid serving, and that can definitely set you up for the night.
Yeah.
And also it pairs super well with wine. We usually do seafood paella, but we make a big batch until we don't have any more.
So are you a sommelier?
I am not.
Okay.
I'm not a sommelier. I have done some training, and there's kind of like a few different routes you can go for wine training specifically. I didn't go the sommelier route just because I didn't see myself ending up in a fine dining establishment serving crazy expensive bottles of wine, which I think is great and amazing, and there's fabulous wine out there and fabulous somms. But I was looking more on like an education side of things, so I went with the W set, which is like a different sort of cert, but is more encompassing in terms of like production, education, and tasting.
And you did get that certification?
I did. I mean, I've only done like level 2. Basically, you can go up to level 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
They all have like the way you can ramp up, but
I just had this weird thought, and is it kind of like a culty vibe to like be a sommelier? When you said levels, I immediately thought of like Scientology.
I mean, let's just say you get a pin.
Okay.
So, you get a pin, and
it's a cult.
You pay a lot of money for the pin, and you do a lot of work for the pin. So and more power to them.
Yeah,
but there's an elitism there, but it's also kind of justified. So it's
absolutely.
like right.
Well, and then I just found out what's it called for beer? Like where you're
Cicerone.
Cicerone.
Yeah.
Cicerone. Okay. So like I think you're probably more qualified than a sommelier because they're like you just drink all of the wine and like you just like this works really well instead of being like Instead of being like, oh, I have this pin, like you have to listen to what I say. Just like,
I would say I am more comfortable admitting that you can buy a great bottle of wine for under $50,
Right.
Or even under $20.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm not saying that every sommelier is going to say that. Obviously, they break it down, and everybody's different. But yeah, there's a lot more focus on like what vintages are the best, what growing sites are the best, like much deeper dive. And I'm like, yeah, hey, if you like the wine, you should drink that.
Yeah.
You know. But here's something cool as well that you could try.
Right.
Here's a varietal that's similar to this one, but still different. Yeah.
How many wine options do you have here? Do you know?
So on tap, we have about like 15 by the glass
Dang.
Okay.
options.
On tap? I
That's
didn't even know wine
awesome.
could be on tap.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the wine on tap is definitely a cool draw because
Yeah.
it's showing definitely a lot of variety, and plus, yeah, by the glass options are hard to do if you're just pouring from bottle because you have a lot of waste. And so the idea with wine on tap is that you're wasting less because you're not paying for the shipping, the bottling, the cork, the packaging. You're just have a keg and you hook it up, and it does have a slightly different gas blend than like a beer blend or than the blend for gas you use for beer. But yeah, I can pour a glass from the tap and then I can not pour anything for like at least a week, 2 weeks. I mean, indefinitely technically, but I'm not having anything go to waste.
What do you think a sommelier would say about like wine on tap? Would they be mad?
No, I feel like there's just a perception that a lot of like wine on tap and even box wine went through the same like trajectory where initially a lot of the offerings were maybe of lesser quality or bulk wine or just stuff that they were trying to get rid of.
Right.
Like cooking wine. Like cooking wine came in boxes for a very long time. It still does.
Yeah.
But I feel like box wine has definitely progressed and people recognize, oh, you know, it's not just because it's in a box that's bad. It's like the branding,
Yeah.
the thing that's inside the container.
Right.
But yeah, don't judge a beverage by its container.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love box wine.
Me too. In college, oh my god.
Yeah,
We went through so much box wine. It's
right. And
great.
like,
yeah.
Franzia definitely has, I would say, the most well-known name
Yeah.
in
Yes.
the box wine category.
Yeah.
But there's other good varieties out there, and there's even some like small European producers that'll box wine. And then there's also people who keg wine. It's basically think like a box wine format, but larger.
Okay.
And box wine, because it doesn't have a gas hookup, it's going to eventually oxidize a little bit quicker. Whereas because the taps are hooked up to gas, it pressures and blankets and anyway, it's good for a while.
Good for the wine.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, when we were like loading in this whole rack of wine thing over here,
Yeah.
I was like so afraid I was gonna knock it over.
It's sturdy.
But there's a ton of wine on there, like stuff that I've never seen. So, is there like a special bottle of wine that you have here that's like that like you wouldn't drink or something, or like it's super expensive or?
When I first took management over, which was about like almost 2 years ago, there are a few bottles of wine that I would say past vintages so you can't find. I would say that we don't truly specialize in that just because there's a lot more competition and getting your hands on like the super rare bottles is pretty hard. A lot of people will go to wine auctions if they're collectors who are trying to like build out their cellar or not that I wouldn't like to get into it, but no, there's one or two nice bottles that are previous vintages that you can't really buy anymore. Yeah, those are upstairs.
Do you just like
Yeah.
keep them on display or anything, or like?
Well,
Are they like to sell? Like, would you sell it?
oh,
if
I would
somebody
definitely sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely sell it. No, I mean, we have some nice offerings and like, obviously our inventory, it kind of changes all the time. That's also part of the idea is that anytime you come in, there'll be a new offering.
Yeah.
So I try not to keep anything too long. Or if I do keep it too long, well, if I do keep it, it's something that's meant to be too long.
Right.
I would say like last year I got pretty into Barolos, which are meant to be aged at least 10 years.
Okay. I have no idea what that is.
That's it's
Yes. What enlighten us? What is that?
Barolo is.
It's like the Modelo's like version of
Right.
wine.
I'm trying to think. That might be inaccurate.
Oh, really?
I mean, well,
Really, Jaydn?
maybe like a Negra Modelo.
Okay.
It's basically the Nebbiolo grape comes from a very small region of Italy, and the wines are made in a style that is meant to be aged. If anybody watching this is a Barolo producer, please don't come after me for my basic, peasant explanation. But it's Nebbiolo grape, which is a grape that's meant to age. It's all the processes that are gone into growing, winemaking, and bottling. A lot of the wine that goes into bottle and then meant to be cellared, it kind of changes over time in the bottle. And so basically, if you're looking to buy and collect any sort of wine that needs some cellaring, you buy it like for the vintage, and then you know that you don't drink it until 10 years from now.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to drink wine and beer like all the time.
Well, yeah, and I would say for most of like the wine industry, about like, and I'm making up the statistic,
Right.
like 75% is, at least 75% is made to be, of the wine made is meant to be consumed within the year.
Have you had like a crazy bottle of wine in your experience that you tried and you were just like
it left me wanting more? Yeah.
That's what I would be afraid of if I went like into being like a sommelier or a cicerone or something like that. I would just like get so tired of it. Like, you know, when you eat like mac and cheese all the time and then you like can taste mac and cheese like without eating it.
Yeah.
That's how I would be, I think, with wine. And I would eventually be like, I can't do this.
You're not wrong. That is actually, so I did a few wine harvests, and that's kind of how I got into wine. But there's a term for that, and it's called cellar palate.
Okay.
And it more often happens with people who are on like the production side of wine, although I'm sure sommeliers at times, especially if they're just tasting one wine list. But it's basically when you are tasting the same things literally every day, which is their job, right? Like basically they're there to taste the wine every day, make sure everything's still the way they want it, nothing's, gone out of flux. But because you've tasted the same things all the time, you're just like, I taste not, it just, it tastes like water, right? Not really, but like, yeah. So it's called cellar palate. That would happen every now and then, like, because we would work with certain wines just for like the 3-month contract period. And by the end we were like in Australia, I worked with, Shiraz and Riesling, which is just what we were mostly growing in the Clare Valley. After that point, I was like, I do not need to taste Riesling and Shiraz for like a year. Like I'll drink anything else at this point.
Yeah.
There's also a saying in wine that like it takes more beer to make wine than anything else, because at the end of the day, after you've been tasting wine, winemakers, cellar hands, anybody is probably going to have a beer because it's just something different than wine.
Okay,
Yeah. So
that
are you
makes
the
sense.
same way?
No, well, no, I would say there's enough variety here, and I don't taste the same like barrel every day. I taste a bunch of different things every day, so I feel like I would say wine is still my true love.
Interesting.
So when you're going out, you order wine?
Depending on the location.
Okay.
I try to tailor my drink to the location.
Yeah.
Like vodka soda, sure, go for it. It's a very basic drink, but like, sometimes you just need a basic drink.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So we came in here one time, me and our producer Mike. He was kind of telling me about it, and I remember sitting like right at this, and I think you were our server.
That's right. Yeah, you pulled
I was
up a
sitting
chair.
I was sitting at the like corner there, and I just remember having this argument with Mike because I was like, which at the bar, which we were just talking about this like argument at the bar. It wasn't a real argument, but he was like trying to explain to me what tapas are, and I was like, but what is it? And he's like, well, they're like shared plates, and I was like, okay, but like, what is that? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then finally, when I came in here, I was like, I get it now. I had like whatever the special was or something that day, and I was like, okay, I understand tapas now.
It's kind of like an overarching category, and I feel like historically you can go way back in terms of like tapas, and I'm sure in Spain they have a very maybe a more specific definition of tapas.
Okay.
But I feel like in America, tapas is literally defined as like a shared plate or a small plate or something, food that's meant to be shared with friends or a table. But yeah, I feel like tapas can kind of be anything.
Yeah.
Just smaller portion.
I was just confused by like the concept of it. I don't think it just took him a while to explain it to me. But now I get it because of this place.
Wow.
Oh, you learned something new.
Yeah.
Happy to help. Happy to help.
Yeah. So is a charcuterie board considered that?
I would say so. By American definition, definitely.
Adult cheese and crackers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Adult Lunchables, yeah.
Yeah.
By Spanish definition, I'm not going to speak for them.
Yeah.
Because they might be like, no.
Okay.
So wait, you were kind of saying, are you from Spain or are you?
No, I'm Des Moines,
Okay.
born and raised. But I did study abroad in Spain, and I
Okay.
feel like that experience has kind of come full circle now that I'm
Yeah.
general manager here. Although the tapas portion of the menu that we added on about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, just before I came, the chef is originally from Basque Country, so it's kind of a northeastern part of Spain. And they have their own tapas culture. It's very, it's called Basque Country because they definitely kind of view themselves culturally distinct from the rest of Spain.
Right.
And that's that kind of style. But I would say like Spain has a really interesting history and there's a lot of trading of like food and culture meshing together. So yeah, there's a lot going on up there.
Yeah. Well, and then I was gonna say too, just it's cool that like, because when I came in here that first time, I'm not a big wine drinker,
Sure.
but you guys have other drinks and stuff like that. But I almost like wanted to drink wine just because I was here, because you were like talking about it behind the bar and all the new stuff that like we were talking about for the tapas and the food and everything. And I was like, it's cool that there's a place that like, I feel like this is kind of one of those places that you can go and not feel like the sommelier bartender or whatever is like going to be an asshole to you and be like,
Right.
well, you don't drink this type of prosciutto or prosecco. I was just talking about it. I literally just did the same thing, mixing up the words prosecco and prosciutto. But prosecco is the wine.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then, but yeah, I felt very comfortable here, like asking you questions and stuff, even that one time that I was here. So it's just like cool that you have all these different options of wine, but yet you can like come in and be like, well, I don't really like wine, but maybe I would try this kind or this works well with this and stuff. And
Yeah.
I just feel like that's not a very common thing. I feel like if I went to like some other high-end restaurant and I'd be like, well, I have no idea what I'm doing here and I don't want to ask anybody.
Right. No, and I feel like wine definitely gets that stigma too, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, if you don't know, then like
Right, you're like
you
treated
don't
less
deserve-
than.
Yeah, you don't deserve to drink it.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think that's too bad because I think more people just enjoy wine
Right.
because it's so different. And even if you don't like this one wine, there's probably another wine out there for you.
Right.
Or even if you don't like this Chardonnay, there's definitely a Chardonnay out there for you. I kind of try to help people because a lot of people do get into the lane if they're like, this is what I like. This is the only thing I like. And I'm like, that's great. Actually, if you want to go for that today, absolutely. If you
Right.
want something else that's going to be maybe outside your comfort zone and taste different than like your normal go-to, absolutely try that. Or if you don't even have your go-to, then like, yeah, try a bunch of different stuff.
What if I came in here and I was like, I only drink Franzia cold duck?
I honestly don't know what cold duck is.
I don't think it's actually anything.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just like a mix, like a blend of mixtures, but it's called
Yeah.
cold duck, like on the box.
Now I'm going to have to search for it. I'm going to try it now. I would say, hey, is that white? Is that red? Is that sweet or dry? I feel like
And
there's
then
like,
I would be on the other side, like, you don't know Franzia
Wow,
cold
gosh.
duck.
you've never had it. And I would be like, no, I'm so sorry, I haven't.
But I have this $400, 800-year-old bottle.
But can I interest you? This will be like that, except a little more elevated. No, I think that's like, well, I guess I should just put the plug in. We do have wine flights. So
Oh, cool.
you can choose 3 different wines and then, mix match.
Yeah, well, and I was gonna say that too because, and this was actually kind of leading into my next question was when you do let people sample wines and stuff, because I'm assuming you do, right?
Yeah, we try to help like, hey, you can sample this red wine, but if you don't like red wines, then like maybe let's sample this,
Right.
like
Right.
Well, so I guess my question was like, how do you when you're letting people sample, if they're trying like multiple samples and stuff, like, is there like a line between like hospitality and like protecting like your
Assets,
inventory
yeah.
and like because I've always been curious about that with wine because it's or like I've seen like where they spit it into buckets and stuff, but those are like tasting and stuff like that.
That's where like if you drank all the wine that you physically consumed, you probably wouldn't be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But how do I navigate that?
Yeah.
I would say most people recognize that, hey, maybe it's like, although I've heard different examples, it's like if you go to the ice cream shop.
Right.
And, Cold Stone, you're like, hey, can I try that flavor?
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay, sure, absolutely. And they're like, oh, that's not my jam. Can I try this flavor? And they're like, yeah, here, okay. And then once you get to like the 5th or 6th flavor, they're like,
Yeah.
I would say it's kind of that same situation where it's like, okay, like we're just doing a glass of wine here,
Right.
we're not
Yeah.
purchasing wine for a big group. I would say if that was the case, we could definitely play around more. But yeah, I feel like people are pretty understanding in terms of like, yeah, you've had a glass of wine at this point, like.
Yeah. Well, that's what, because at some point I would feel like, you would be kind of like losing some of the inventory, that goes unaccounted for.
Yeah.
But then, because what would you do if it was like, let's say like this whole dining room was one party and they're all like, we all want to sample this one bottle of wine.
The good thing is, I would say, well, then we should just purchase the bottle because that'll be cheaper. I would say if we're all going to go in on a bottle, then like, yes, that's definitely the route. And that's kind of like the unsaid wine hack. Like once you get into wine, at a certain point, like margins on alcohol, I think I'm in fair company recognizing that those are like definitely the money makers for restaurants. Like without alcohol, a lot of restaurants wouldn't survive. With wine, it's somewhat the same. Like our business model's a little different, but there's enough markup on that wine that by the glass, you pay a certain amount more. Whereas if you get a bottle, you are gonna get more volume for less.
Right.
Yeah.
For less cost.
Yeah.
Right.
And Iowa's liquor laws are that like if you purchase a bottle of wine and open it and don't finish it, you can cork it and take it with you. Which is lovely. Not every state has that. And
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really? So like if
Yeah.
I bought a bottle of wine here, took one sip out of it and then recorked it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's wild.
I should let you know that because we're not a normal wine bar, we don't have like crazy markups put into the bottles. They're like mostly priced to go, like for people to
Right.
take with them. So we do offer corkage and we do half price corkage on Wednesdays.
Wait, so that's where people bring in their own bottle?
Yes.
Okay.
That's typically like how it works in a lot of like fine dining establishments
yeah.
because it's like you're choosing something not from their list. They're not going to make money
Right.
off of you sitting there and enjoying that
The
bottle.
corking fee,
Yeah.
yeah.
But they're still going to do like all the service involved with it. So that's kind of what corkage is like. Some people understand that. I feel like sometimes it's harder to explain. We do have corkage just because all of our bottles, again, don't have that built-in cost that goes into normal wine lists. So it's kind of like, hey, we would love for you to have that. It's just going to be an extra, $15 to enjoy that bottle, but you're going to be able to sit here for as long as you want. Enjoy the ambiance. We're going to wash the dishes. We're going to take care of you,
Yeah. We have a corking fee at the sports bar that I work at.
Nice.
You do.
That's my kind of sports bar.
Yeah, well, because we have like 3 white wines and 3 red wines, and but yeah, we'll have like people come in for like a party or something or like a retirement party, and they'll bring a bunch of bottles of wine, and they're like, well, we want to try it here, and you know, so
Really?
I totally get it. Yeah, it's basically you just open the bottle for them.
Yeah.
I have a
And
corking
then-
fee for the dive bar I work at.
You do?
If you bring a drink in from outside, I'm gonna make you buy that drink.
Yeah,
if
that's
you don't,
a good
if you don't
one.
pour it out, I'm gonna make you pay for it again.
I mean, it is also like you're basically drinking on that business's liquor license too. So they're
Right.
like
Yeah.
assuming a certain amount of liability, which is
Right.
a whole
Yeah.
other thing.
So then that makes me think, is it a thing like when people bring in, let's say they're like, I've had this happen a lot more like
Yeah.
in Court Avenue area, but like if they bring in their own bottle, like, and they're sneaking it in obviously.
Right.
So like, but I didn't even think about that, like that they would be, cause we just don't allow it. So as soon as we see it, we take
Yeah.
the bottle, it's in the trash. Like,
Legally, I don't think you can allow it.
okay.
I mean, if it's wine and it's unopened, then I think yes. Because
Only for wine though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it has to be unopened too. Like they can't bring in an open bottle of wine. And be like,
Right.
hey, I had this last night. Can I come have a glass here? And it's
Yeah.
like,
Nope.
Yeah, at that point, just drink at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And since this is like, I guess, how would you describe the like aesthetic of this place, of Purveyor?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to nail down some days.
Because I feel, like I said, I felt very welcome here, and I always look like this. I wear like
Yeah.
a graphic tee and jeans and a hat, and like,
And that's definitely like the goal is to be more casual about
Yeah.
wine. I would say definitely taking a page out of Europe's playbook in terms of like just casual wine drinking is okay. Like most of that wine is meant to be drunk the year it's produced. And making that an environment where, hey, you can just catch up with a friend over a glass of wine, maybe some food, maybe it's not full dinner, maybe it is full dinner. Maybe we're like a stop before you go to dinner, maybe we're your stop after dinner, maybe you do have dinner.
Right.
It doesn't actually have to be dinner too. We are open during the day on Fridays, Saturdays, and we're even open Sundays too. Sundays are kind of fun because it's casual. Like I feel like on the weekends, people usually break up from their like meal routines. But the idea is to be more European cafe, casual gathering,
cool,
but still not sacrificing quality
right,
or like good
Right.
food,
right,
or interesting options, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So then, do you guys primarily just do tapas? Like, do you have like full plates and stuff like that?
I would say we have full plates more on like a specials sort of
Okay.
basis. I mean, we do have like our sandwiches, they're sizable. That's kind of a meal, I would say. And then our cazuelas, which are like I would say the bigger tapas, and they're cooked in the oven. They're going to be filling. Like I would say maybe 2 is a meal, 2 to 3, depending on how hungry you are. But then like we have the empanadas and fritos or croquettes. And those are more like snacky, kind of like bar food basically. Or food that's, well, you don't have to be drinking by any means, but food
Right.
that goes well with like a beverage. And then the charcuterie, I think people are just more familiar with, so it's definitely a popular option, and that's definitely like grazing, good for sharing or not. People
Yeah.
come here and just order a charcuterie.
Yeah.
So you have this whole deli counter right
Yeah.
here. So do you do like is it just pick your own charcuterie or?
Yeah, we basically do like chef's choice, just depending on our stock. So in addition to rotating wine stock, I would say we have some like staples that we do on the charcuterie board, but like try to mix it up somewhat seasonally.
Okay.
Yeah, we just brought on the Good Butcher, changing out cheeses. Some cheeses, definitely are more wintry style cheeses versus like summer are lighter. I would say we almost always have prosciutto in-house as well as like our classic Genoa salami, but
Yeah.
and then we also have like a Spanish kind of charcuterie board that's more focused on like just Spanish products. So
Wow, you're making me hungry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had somebody just eat like 30 plates of tapas? Because they're just like, I don't know. I feel like I could do something like that where I'd just be like, there's not like, I want like 4 of these, 2 of those. Like,
I mean, the world's your oyster here. So like, if you want that, I will absolutely go for it. I would say maybe I'd try to pace it out, like that. I feel like tapas too, stylistically, are kind of meant to like, it's not a rushed meal. Typically, it's
Yeah.
more like, hey, you order something, we feeling more hungry, then like, yeah, order some more. Or be like, I want this, send it out whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
And that's also kind of great too. 'Cause,
cool.
Yeah. It's
Cool.
easy.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I love it. And it's
Yeah.
just the vibes here are super cool too. Like I said, it's just like very welcoming. I did notice like when I was here that one day, there was like, it was a very diverse crowd of like definitely like people who just got off work and people who were like on a date. And
Yeah.
then like, just, it was really cool. So
Yeah, that's
it was
good.
really awesome. And
We
then
like
you
that.
have this whole deli area and it's like straight up. I remember when we were here too, there's like somebody cooking back there usually, like every
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so how many employees are actually here then?
I would say on Fridays and Saturdays, and I would say that those are definitely the busiest days of the week. Maybe 5 total, but that's only for like a certain amount of time. I mean, we seat 30 people, 38 maybe, like if we're full house. So it's a small space, but that's kind of the point. It's kind of supposed to be like intimate and just like, oh, is it kind of like your own house kitchen deli combo place. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. If you had a deli in your kitchen with your living room close by, like, yeah, that would be the...
In your wine
Yeah.
closet right
your
next to you.
Yeah, wine closet.
In the tapas.
Yeah. And you had somebody who brought you tapas. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would
dude.
be great.
Best basement ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit more about you. So you've been here for like 3 years, you said?
Just about 2.
2?
Yeah.
And then, so what did you do? Are you the owner here also?
No, just a general manager.
Okay. What did you do before all of this?
Yeah, I got into wine in 2018. And I'd worked and grown up in the restaurant industry, so familiar with a lot, but definitely not as much as I learned. Like, I knew the Cabernet was a red wine, and I knew Chardonnay was a white wine, and
That's
I would
where
say,
I'm at.
yeah, that was like about. I was like, oh, I know I like this one a little bit more than that one, but I couldn't like pinpoint why. But then in 2018, I had the opportunity to go do a wine harvest, and if anybody's looking to get into wine, do a wine harvest in California, in Sonoma County, and yeah, that definitely changed the course of my career and my life. I met my partner out there. And we did one harvest in 2018. We went back in 2019. I worked for a different winery. He worked for the same winery. So, and then while we were there, we also learned that like a lot of people, once they do wine harvest, and if they're thinking like wine is a career option, they'll do a Southern Hemisphere harvest because the seasons are flipped.
Yeah.
So typically in Northern Hemisphere, like wine harvest is between August through November. And then in Southern Hemisphere, wine harvest is between February and April, May. So then after our 2 harvests in California, there's a specific visa you can get in Australia and New Zealand. But you can only, it's like a working holiday visa, but you can only do it until you're 30. So they have like an age limit for it. So I was like, all right, this is the year we're doing it. And we did a harvest in Australia we arrived January 2020. And so we were there February, March. And then when March 2020 happened.
Yeah, literally right before COVID.
Truly, yeah. Things got a little dicey there. And we were working kind of in the middle of nowhere, rural Australia. Like in South Australia, there's the Clare Valley, which is like somewhat well known, but like where we were 30 minutes from the grocery store. And like in a little town, and in Australia, the pub is also the post office. But
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
there's a
awesome.
few of those. We were there. Our winemaker like sat us down because there were 4 harvest interns or cellar hands is what they call them. And they were like, hey, like we know you have a contract with us, but this looks to be kind of like a big deal, this COVID thing. If you need to break it, like we understand if you need to go home, like we're happy to help accommodate as best we can. Which was really nice.
Yeah,
and,
that's really nice.
Yeah, and me and my partner kind of looked at each other and were like, well, we don't have jobs back home, so like might as well see where this goes. So then we stayed most of March, and then by the end of March, we were like, oh, okay, this is a different sort of beast than we initially thought. And so then we like made the arrangements to get back home, which was tricky, but yeah, the best international flight I've ever been on.
Really?
It was like me and 10 people on like
nice.
a 747.
Oh,
It was
That's pretty
crazy.
dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've always wanted to go to Australia.
It was
I
great.
thought that'd be really cool.
The spiders are real though.
I was just gonna
Big-ass
ask.
spiders.
Yeah, that's no joke. But even, well, I feel like it was a toss up. Our winemaker was like very adamant about like spraying down everything because wine is sugar is converted into alcohol, so it can be sweet, especially
Yeah.
during the fermentation process. And he was like, if you don't spray that down, the ants are gonna come, and if the ants come, then the lizards come, and then if the lizards come, then the snakes come.
If you give a mouse a cookie.
Yeah, like truly. And he's like, and we don't want snakes. And I was like, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I did.
Out of all those things, you just don't want snakes.
Yeah, I think snakes and spiders were actually like the things that he was like, we are absolutely like, so if you see an ant, you like, you kind of had to like spray it away.
Right.
How do you deal with like those big spiders? Like, do you kill them? Like, do you have to like?
No. I mean, I don't. Like
But they do, like down there,
The
down under.
down under. I did. So in total, I saw like 3 redbacks, which I don't know if you know. The redback spider is
How
like,
big is
Google
it?
it.
Like,
they're small actually, which
oh, okay.
is, well, that's honestly, because they're small, it's not a good thing because they
okay.
hide in little places.
Oh wait, those are the ones that have it's like the ones that you see in like the movies.
Yeah, it's basically a relation to the black widow, except if they bite you, they're deadly. And you have to get the antivenom in like 30 minutes.
Oh god. Oh, that just made me tingle.
Yeah. So thankfully, where we were 30 minutes away from a hospital, so we knew if anything did go bad.
Really cutting it close.
Yeah, you got about 30 minutes
Wow.
to
Yeah, I know.
survive.
It wasn't something we planned for, but after the fact, we were like, well, I'm really glad that worked out. And we didn't have to like use it, but I'm like, I'm glad we were 30 minutes. Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you saw a redback, which I did 3 times, and thankfully the winemaker killed it, but they were small. They like would hide under the bins, and so you'd like go to pick up something and then be like, oh shit, it's right there.
When you say small, how small?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, like,
smaller than
generally
everything
small,
else out there.
But yeah, absolutely. Small by comparison to the huntsman spider,
I
which
was
you
gonna
also
say.
saw, which were like,
If-
yay, so.
If I saw a spider this big at my house, I'd probably
Out.
Yeah, the
You were like,
spiders.
yeah, when you ask like how small is a spider, and then it was like bigger than any spider I've ever seen in my life.
yeah, literally. Literally.
Yeah.
So what did the harvesting process look like?
Yeah, it's something that you do, and at the time you're like, wow, this really sucks. And then after you get done with it, you're like, oh my gosh, that was such a great experience. Like I had, so much fun, and I tasted so much wine. And there were definitely like very good parts of it. But it is also like straight up manual labor, and your feet are wet a lot.
Yeah.
And
Did you
you're
have
just
to like
generally
stomp on the
The grapes.
Yeah, we did
In the
do
bins.
foot trotting, as they call it. Feet wine is also what it's sometimes.
feet wine?
No, that's just a joke. But yeah, we did do that in California. I would say more than Australia, just because Australia was such high volume. So I feel like it's more done ritualistically, like as a means of like, hey, this is the process, and it is a much gentler extraction process. Is what they say, because
Because of your feet?
because
Interesting.
your feet are less heavy than like a giant metal press that's gonna press it down. So usually only foot trotting with red wines though, because those are the ones that are just gonna sit for a while, and so you want a little bit of maceration, but not too much.
Interesting.
Wow.
I always kind of thought that was just like a myth. Like I didn't think that like a cartoon thing.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, it is definitely done more ritualistic. Like
Yeah.
people do it more for the fact that like, hey, we foot trotted a wine this year. We got to do at least one kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there is like certain wines that do better with that, and I feel like it's something you do with wines that maybe you have more time with, versus like if you have a wine or grapes that are picked and they need to be crushed like right now, then that's not the wine you're gonna foot trot.
So then, how many feet wines do you have here?
Yeah.
And can I try one right now, please?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah. Does it say like this? Like
Foot
the
trotting.
foot of
Yeah, foot trotting.
Jared was the guy who made this bottle.
No, but I actually really like this line of marketing. I think it should be explored.
Yeah, it's got like a picture of like, or like like the footprint, like
Yeah,
of
the
your-
footprint of the like.
Is
Of the
barefoot
person.
foot trotted?
I mean, you would think so, right? I mean,
Right,
it's got
probably
the.
not.
Maybe at one point it was.
Maybe that's why it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh no, I would say.
Barefoot.
I would say foot trotting wine is definitely going to be more expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately, you got to pay for that. You got to pay for the feet.
Yeah.
Right. It's not for free.
Yeah, it's not for free.
Is feet wine measured by the gallon still, or is it more of like a yardage thing?
How many toes touch the wine? No, still by the gallon. Rest assured, I feel like for full disclosure, this is before the wines are fermented, so
Okay.
all feet juice contact is fermented out. There is no risk of
Feet.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Fermentation and alcohol kill a lot of things.
I'll just have a regular wine then, I guess.
I don't know. I still feel
Just
like
kidding.
you should definitely go somewhere in California where you think they might like. Next time you go to a really fancy wine tasting experience in California, be like, "Do you have any foot trodden wines?" dead ass.
That'd be so funny. I'm definitely gonna use that when like ever I go to a nice place.
Please, yeah.
Besides this place is very nice.
It's okay. You can ask me, and I'll tell you my same answer. But maybe, who knows? Maybe there's a way I can search and find,
Yeah.
foot trodden by Jared on 16.
But it's like, where's George? Like the dollar or whatever, the bottle is like stamped by somebody who foot trotted in it.
Yeah, I feel like whiskey has that, or like Scotch whiskey has that thing, like, it's bottled by so and so.
Or bottled at this place here and traveled. Yeah. All that. Interesting. Yeah, I don't. So how do they extract the foot juice from the wine? I'm just kidding. Dumb question.
I feel like maybe we should just somehow formulate how to get a bin of freshly harvested grapes in here and have people.
Yeah.
I feel like it is a novelty too. Like they'll do winery tours during harvest time, and I think you have to pay extra. But I think there are certain places I know. I mean, I was working off in the spraying down drums or whatever, but they had like people come through and they had bins set up, and it was, we did sanitize the feet before they went into the bin.
That's good.
Yeah, at least there's some precautions taken. But then like that was the novelty is, jump in the bin and
is the reason it's like
actually hard.
Is it?
Really?
I would imagine so, because you're probably in it for a while if you're doing that.
Yeah,
right?
like if they're actually trying to like crush everything, and usually it's a certain amount of like whole cluster, what they say, which is where the stems are also mixed in there, and the stems after a while don't feel great on your feet or on your legs, like
right.
they'll start getting a little scratchy.
And like calloused, and your feet. I mean, if you did it a lot, I would assume your feet would get.
Yeah.
Like-
And that's the thing, like for time wise, it took a long time, and so it wasn't very economical
Yeah,
to
that
do it
makes
that way,
sense.
but it was at least,
Yeah. Interesting.
Cool.
Very interesting.
Would it make sense to like wear flippers?
Yeah, like there's no boots, there's no
Foot trotting socks.
anything. Yeah.
No, I mean, I feel like I remember asking like, well, why don't I just sanitize my boots and go with my boots in there? And they're like, actually, those boots are dirtier probably than your feet. Just because your boots
Well,
have been walking around on the concrete floor for God knows why. And like, sure, you
Right.
could have a special pair of boots, but
These are my trodden flippers.
they'd have to be well strapped on because they would fall off.
Oh man. Okay, so do you guys do like education here, like wine education and stuff like that?
Yeah, we've tried. I would like to do more. Is definitely the short answer. It's we've done like a few wine 101 classes, which kind of just break down the basics, because it is like one of those things where the more you learn, the more you're like, crap, I know this now, but what does that mean? Like, it just, you ask more questions the more you know. And I would like to add on more. I feel like we're getting kind of into the busy season, but come January and February, when everyone's stuck at home and wanting to get out, I'm hoping to do at least one event every month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay.
So what like do the education classes like entail?
Yeah, we've done a few where we partner with distributors, just because the wine distributors are very well versed, especially in their offerings, but just in general, like their
They're
base
all-
knowledge.
All Somalians too.
That's
That's our running joke. Is we just say Somalian.
No, some of them might be.
Okay.
And a lot of them have worked maybe more closely. Usually they do come from the industry and have worked like with sommeliers in restaurants. And maybe figured out that wasn't the path that they wanted to go to, or maybe they've transferred. A lot of sommeliers, if they don't work in restaurants, will also just become like, what's the word? Just like people for key accounts, like big wine groups or small wine groups. But yeah, just because that base level of knowledge is
Right.
pretty high.
Yeah.
It's just like a whole community. I just didn't
Yeah.
know about. Yeah.
There's a lot out there.
Yeah. Wow.
So then, okay. So wait, what were your classes like? What are your classes kind of again?
So Instagram is basically the best way to find out, but usually pairing up with wine distributors just as a general practice. And they, like I said, are so well versed, they can speak into more detail than even I can about what they have and about the processes involved in the specific bottles of wine.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's primarily about wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say it's usually a combination of both like education and then tasting. It's kind of like 2 different tracks, and honestly, there's a lot of information, but I would say we try to keep it around like an hour for most classes.
Do you get to spit out your wine in those classes?
You don't have to.
Okay, perfect.
You definitely don't have to. I mean, but of course you can.
Right. Well, and I would assume, I mean, even for an hour, if you're doing like a ton
Yeah.
of tasting and stuff, you probably wouldn't want to.
No, and I feel like usually it's not too much wine. Like, usually it's like tasting 5 or 6 wines, and I would say for the average person, like, that's usually plenty.
Yeah.
For wine people, like you do go to wine shows, and that's more often where you're spitting because you're tasting like 20 to 50 different wines. And I will say that like after a certain point, are you really tasting?
Right.
Yeah, like
Right.
maybe.
I think I would do the class
Kind
just
of.
to have fun, just
Yeah.
to be like, oh, cool, wine.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of the goal because
Yeah.
wine should be fun. 'Cause
Right.
It is fun.
Yeah.
And like you don't have to know anything about wine to enjoy it, but it is like anything. I think the more you learn about it, the more you're like, oh, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
So then, what's your go-to shift drink or end of the night ritual?
Yeah, I would
The
say
most expensive wine, probably.
yeah, it's actually that $200 bottle over there. I would say probably a Campari Spritz.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are familiar with the Aperol Spritz, which is like definitely the somewhat sweeter, more summery version. But Campari is kind of like the older sister or older brother to
Just
Aperol.
Campari with prosciutto.
You can absolutely pair it. We do make ours with Prosecco. You're tripping me
I
out.
know, that's what is getting me confused.
We do make ours with Prosecco with a little prosciutto on the side.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's basically Campari, which is a bitter aperitif. It is a wine-based liqueur, so there's still wine in the process, but it's bitter, and so a lot of people either... Sometimes bitter is kind of a tricky thing to pick out.
Yeah.
People either kind of love it or hate it. And bitter can be different than alcohol. Obviously, Campari is actually pretty low alcohol, but yeah, in tasting and like in wine specifically too, they'll break it down with like body, sweetness, bitter or like tannin. I'm forgetting the 2 others. Oh, acidity. But I feel like the Campari Spritz kind of checks a lot of the boxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't realize that Campari and Aperol were like cousins.
I mean, and I don't know specifically in terms of businesses.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Italians, if they're watching, are like, no, we're very separate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say they're similar enough. Like I describe Aperol as being more like regular orange and Campari is more like blood orange
Okay.
because it has more of that bitter aspect.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I feel like Aperol still has a bitter aspect to it too, which I never realized until recently when
Yeah.
you made a drink with Aperol in it.
I would say that Aperol is definitely more bitter than like a typical... For the American palate, it's bitter.
Yeah. Like Malort in a way.
Yeah, yeah, and like
Not as strong, but
yeah,
still.
and there's definitely like a secret blend of herbs and spices
Yeah.
that go into.
Huh.
Yeah,
Sounds yummy.
Interesting.
it is yummy. Like I feel like it, that first sip maybe takes some adjusting to, but Prosecco is also still kind of sweet. So when you mix Campari with Prosecco and then over ice add an orange.
Oh, yeah. So then wait, is an Aperol Spritz, isn't that with Prosecco and Aperol?
Yep, add an
Oh,
orange.
it's literally just the same thing, just
Subbing the and you can play around like I mean basically to make any sort of spritz, it's like something bubbly.
Okay.
A lot of places will cut it with soda too, which is it's kind of meant to be a lower alcohol beverage. 'Cause
Right.
It's usually more volume. Over ice and usually fruit garnish, So it's you can kind of play around too with a lot. There's even a third if you want to get into it, and we do have it here, which is Cappelletti, which is like in between Aperol and Campari.
Huh.
Wow.
So it's like their second cousin, I guess.
That's so cool.
Okay.
It's cool that you know all this stuff because
I
I,
know.
feel like I feel like such a bad bartender.
You
I
sound
just
so
make-
smart
I
right
just-
now.
Yeah, for real. I just make like bombs and I use like 17 different flavors of vodka.
That
and,
sounds
like-
so complicated to me. I'm sorry.
Really?
That sounds so yeah, I would not know how to make a bomb to save my life.
Really?
I think
think so.
also I need to be more open to drinking wine because like I don't like and it's usually just a little bit more expensive, which
Yeah.
is like my PBRs are usually like $5.
It is hard to compete with that. I will.
Yeah. But I do love wine. I've always loved like boxed wine, especially like
Yeah.
right out of the bag. Like
Yeah.
give it a couple slaps, it's good.
It's easy
That's
peasy.
like that's like slapping the bag for a boxed wine is like the when you get the notes and you like
It's very satisfying. I feel like yes. It opens the nose. Yeah. Brings out the aromatics.
So would you like currently right now if like we brought in a bag of boxed wine, would
Uh-huh. Yeah.
you drink it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You're still down to chill. That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
If anything, there is such thing as like palate exploration, and because this is one of my favorite wine facts is that wine is like one of the most complex beverages,
Right.
Or just even liquids, I guess. Like blood is maybe the only thing that's more chemically complex, like from a chemical level.
Huh. Then wine?
Yeah.
Weird.
Like wine is super complex just because it goes through like a crazy life cycle of first being like a fruit and then being fermented and then becoming, an alcohol and then
Yeah.
aging and anyways.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I
I think that's why it's so intimidating for a lot of people though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's been intimidating for me because I just don't know anything about it.
Yeah, and I feel like for that reason, well, wine consumption as a whole is down, and I think that's just because like it does seem intimidating and it's definitely not as easy. Well, it is as easy to drink. Well, maybe it's not. I don't know. That's a different question, I guess, for later. But
Yeah.
like it's definitely not as easy to drink as like a seltzer.
Right.
Or like even a vodka soda, like I said earlier.
Right.
But it is something that's interesting and complex, and like they have proven that circling back to palate exploration, like people who taste wine on a regular basis, like they have larger receptors for those areas in their mouth or in their palate.
Huh.
Because tasting wine is actually linked to your olfactory system, like in your brain, which is like closely tied to memory. And so that's why when people are
Whoa.
like swirling and
Wow.
smelling wine, they're like, oh my God, I get a hint of
Nostalgia.
fresh cut grass. Oh man, is that like my old roller skates? Like, yeah,
Or like cat litter.
truly, yeah. And it's because like, yeah, smell is like one of the strongest things that's linked to memory.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that is a thing though, because I have that happen all the time where I'll like get a smell and I'll be like, whoa.
yeah.
That reminds me of when I was like 12 years old and there's this,
Yeah. Gosh, grandma's basement.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah. Okay, what advice would you give a new server or bartender starting at a bar like this or a restaurant like this, where knowledge and hospitality like are kind of your main thing in education?
Yeah. If you have the flexibility and you want to do a wine harvest, like go for it. It'll be hard. It'll be a lot of hard work. To be fair, do go someplace where you get overtime, which you should, because you're only working for 3.5, 4 months, and it's like a lot of work. Like maybe one day off a week and 12-hour days. But you just like learn so much from a hands-on perspective. I would say that like for wine specifically, that hands-on perspective is kind of hard to gain any other way. But I would say reading for wine is definitely something that's changed how I'm able to talk about it, just because like anything, learning the jargon, and this is like across any industry, I feel like learning the jargon and like the terms on how to describe something help make the job of hospitality like so much easier. Like if you're like, how would you describe a grape bomb to somebody who's never had one before?
It's got notes of
Yeah.
oak and
Tastes like purple.
You know what? And that's actually pretty accurate. I feel like it does taste like purple. It tastes like, purple with grape Jolly Rancher or something. I
I
don't know.
will say so I work at Bomb Bar, but Bomb Bar doesn't have. Well, actually, no, we do have one now that I think about it. I think I just
Hell yeah.
tell people we don't. But we, the other place that I work at too, called The Other Place, they have these things called wine bombs.
Okay.
And they're so good. It's, I'm trying to think, it's raspberry schnapps, our like red blend wine, and then blueberry Red Bull.
Oh, okay.
And it's like
Ooh, yeah.
super good actually.
Yeah.
They're like our favorite. They're like one of my favorite bombs to make because like you get all these weird different flavors. But I didn't know it makes a lot of sense that like there's all this like chemical. I've been watching a lot of Breaking Bad recently, but like the chemical complexity of like wines and stuff is insane. Now that you've explained that, like it's really cool. But okay, so then short of doing a wine harvest and then foot trotting for 12 hours a day,
and then reading a book while you're doing it.
Yeah. Like so is that like one of the like stipulations to work here is that you have to like have had some experience in wine? Okay.
No, definitely not. I would say just basically the drive to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And truly one of the best ways of learning, thankfully, is by tasting. Just because like palate exploration, again, like tasting things that are good and picking out like, what is it that I like about this? And also tasting things that are bad, like picking out, hey, what do I not like about this? The more you taste, like the more, and if you're consciously tasting, which is like you're thinking about what it is you're tasting, instead of just like drinking, which I feel like are kind of different.
Right, yeah.
That is really helpful in figuring out how do I describe this to somebody. Because it's like, oh, what don't I like about this? Is it because it's super bitter? Then like, okay, that helps me narrow it down that like, oh, I don't like something bitter, I like something sweeter, because like everything kind of has like a opposite too. And then that's why they say, oh, this wine's really balanced. It means that it's like everything is kind of all in line.
Do you think like, not specifically for wine but for food too, that you have like a very developed palate? Like do you think you developed it, or do you think you kind of always had it and then it kind of grew?
I feel like it's interesting because I feel like I read a book a few years back, but it was about like super tasters. And actually there's something to be said for people who have like basically just have more taste receptors on their tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes super tasters will actually be more picky because flavors are just like more intense to them.
Okay.
Which I feel like is why like a lot of people in Iowa definitely aren't spicy individuals.
Right.
In terms like, yeah, right, like hot sauce not so much.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper, good to go.
Right. Butter, yeah.
Right. But then there are people from definitely cultures where spice is utilized from a very young age, and like I would say their spice tolerance, like that's definitely ingrained into their palate. It goes back and forth. What was the question?
Just like developing your palate, like specifically. Like,
I feel like it wasn't until much later in life that I was like more conscious about what I was tasting and like kind of trying to pick out like these things, like whether it was sour, whether it was sour, creamy, salty, spicy. Oh gosh, there's that fabulous cookbook, Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of is more on like the food side of things, like how those things drastically change the taste of something.
Yeah.
And I feel like on the wine side, those components also play a part.
Huh. Yeah.
I was very fortunate though. Both of my parents are chefs, so like I did taste things that I absolutely hated from a very young age.
Yeah.
But that definitely I feel like later informed my. I guess it lit up the parts of my brain that said, "Hey, I don't like that." But then eventually, like I learned to like them. Like I hated pickles growing up.
Yeah.
Now I can't get enough.
Really?
So like, yeah, I don't know. Some, palates and tastes do change.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing is doesn't your like whole body, like all your cells and everything change like every 7 years or something completely?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And I remember I had a conversation with a guest one time. I don't really know how we got onto it, but it was about how her husband, like she was taking something home and her husband like absolutely hated, I think it was olives, right? Like hated them. She's like, don't let them touch anything, kind of hate. And I was like, oh man, like, gosh, well, have they tried these olives? Like these olives are kind of different. Maybe I like them. And she's like, well, no, like what he does is he tries the foods that he hates every year, like in January. Like he'll just go through the list of foods he hates every year just to make sure that he like still hates them. And I'm like, you know what? I actually have like some respect for that process.
Yeah.
Like, maybe next year's the year. Where
Yeah.
he's like, oh, actually, no, this is okay.
Well, and because I was thinking about that too. Like I've kind of done relatively the same thing for beer. Is that like we have beers on draft that we get a ton of new random crafts that like every week like there's something new, and we have to learn those, and I like don't usually and like but I'll always try them, especially if it's a new one or if something that piques my interest, because I also like IPAs and stuff. But I do feel like you said, I feel like I've developed that more over time. And just being able to like, identify different flavors and stuff like that. But I never like thought of it in that way before. It's more kind of like this one's really bitter or this one like is smooth and like easy to drink.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a little bit easier for beer in a way.
It is, I think, because beer, I also worked for a brewery.
Okay.
And as somebody who doesn't drink beer, I worked for a winery that was part of a brewery. I feel like I had to learn, I did learn a lot about how like beer is made and tasted, I guess.
Yeah.
And I feel like beer you can kind of break down into more components, right? Like hoppiness is kind of like a big one, right? Alcohol comes through. Maltiness too, like depending on the malt they use. I think in some ways it can be like that. I know once you get into like aged beers though, and like barrel aged beers, there's like a whole...
Yeah, I don't even know anything about that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that either. But I feel like that is the blessing. Yeah, just go out and try wine, try beer, try a drink you don't think you would like just because there's enough chance you do. And even if you don't like it, it's probably still drinkable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and then we can go into douche of the week and wrap after this. But I was just gonna say, like, it reminds me of like, how you said like some people with like more distinct palates are more picky because it's like a crazy like flavor blast in their mouth. but like when people are picky, I feel like some people are picky just to be picky. Like, where there's like somebody will be like, oh, well, we have plastic glasses that we serve our beers in, and they'll be like, well, it tastes better in glass. And it's like, I mean, yeah, I get that, but it's like the beer itself is still the same. And so I don't know. It was just making me, that was all kind of like coming full circle for me, where it's like, does your palate change? I mean, I'm sure it does a little bit, like from plastic to glass, but like, is it really gonna like, I don't think it's gonna be that big of a difference, really.
I've heard, and I have not read the research. I've heard that like, yes, the vessel can make a difference.
Okay.
I would say that's like at a certain level, and maybe if you're like tasting, I think that would probably make a big difference. But if you're also just enjoying a beverage, then like you're just enjoying a beverage.
So then that made me think too, like if you have like, is because certain wines are supposed to go in certain glasses, right, and stuff. So like, if you put a red wine in like a champagne flute, would you be like excommunicated from the church of the church of Somalia?
I would not excommunicate you.
Okay, good.
I would say it might be a little harder of a drinking experience, and I would say like the nose might be a little more compressed, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
But the idea with the champagne flute too is not as much really about like the taste or the aroma. It's more about the bubbles and like kind of keeping the bubbles like in suspension. Because a lot of people will drink champagne out of a normal glass, and that's because the bubbles are great, but like they're gonna burn off or whatever. Like I would rather have like the aroma or I would rather get more smell out of the glass, so they'll just drink champagne in a regular wine glass. So at the end of the day, it's player's choice.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I wanted to hear. Oh, and there's Jacob.
Interesting.
That's the dude that got married and Dan officiated their wedding.
You're kidding.
I feel like it's
So crazy.
He got punched at that Hazer show.
Yeah, he did. He got sucker punched. Anyways, okay, so let's get into our douche of the week, and then we can wrap for Patreon.
The other day, I worked a morning shift, and when you go into work and you just expect everything to be stocked, everything to be like prepared for you. Yeah, nothing was stocked. And I was so upset. I had like pages written down of things I needed to stock, and I think the bartender the night before got really drunk and didn't do her job. So.
Closers, man.
Dude,
I know.
That does get me too. And it's like, if stocking is the only thing they didn't do, then sure. But like when it's like gone, like everything's gone.
It was gone.
And then you have to like reorganize, like you have to like place everything in the right spot again. Like, that drives me crazy.
Yeah, it was
You can't
terrible.
serve it for
Yeah.
like 2-3 hours.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
know.
for sure, because you just have
takes
to
a while.
stock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sucks.
I've definitely opened up later because I had straight up no stock from a night before.
Yep.
That and sticky surfaces.
Yeah, sticky surfaces
Yeah.
too, or like sticky floors, stuff
Yeah.
like that. When the floors don't get wiped,
Right.
That is that. There was one time I walked in to, this was a bar I don't work at anymore, but my foot like straight up came out of my shoe because it was so stuck to the floor, like it was that bad, and I was just like, I didn't work there for very long.
Ew.
I
You're like,
remember,
no,
I can't
not
do
for me.
this.
Yeah, ew.
Unfortunately, I'm also the closer, so if something's not stocked, it's on me, and I know that.
Yeah.
So it's also I come in and be like, God damn it, what did I not do again? Like, you know.
At that point, you're only mad at yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I definitely will do that too. I'll be like, oh, I'll just deal with this in the morning. And
Do
then
it
you
all
get
the
there
time.
in the morning, you're like, fuck, why did I do
Yeah.
that? Like, it's
Yeah.
going to be so much longer.
Yeah.
So I noticed you guys have like a slicer back there.
Yes,
Have you ever do you slice on it?
I do slice on it.
Okay.
Yes, it is a pain to clean.
Well, clean and also use without like hurting
Yeah,
yourself.
I did for the first time in almost 2 years nick myself a little bit.
Really?
Just a little nick, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, you need to step away. We're done with the slicer tonight. No more
Yeah.
slicing. I don't,
If
it was
you
unfortunate.
if you have injuries from bartending or serving a restaurant or anything like that, you should definitely send them to us.
Well, I was gonna just moderately complain, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, not you. I meant like everybody.
Oh,
Like,
gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, you have them too, definitely. Well, and the reason I brought up that slicer is because we used to have the same one when I worked at Jimmy John's, and I straight up watched
Yes.
this dude the tip of his thumb. The tip was like on the ground, and it was like,
No.
yeah. So it's like stuff like that like it always freaked me out. So I would slice too, and so but
Yeah.
I was always very careful, and I would take it very slowly until I got to the point where I was comfortable. But yeah, I just always get worried about that. And then my hands alone, I have like cuts from knives and stuff all over, and broken glass.
Oh yeah.
Like all over
me
my
too.
hands. Yeah.
I have cuts and burns and chemical burns.
I have a douche of the week, and I actually don't know if I've used this one before, but it has to do with this. But basically, so we have these like really thin shot glasses or bomb glasses, and they're like kind of taller. They're probably like that tall. And this guy came in. He's a regular. He drinks one of our shots, but right before he drinks it, he's like, "Just so you know, I'm gonna throw this shot glass in the trash once I'm done with it." And I'm thinking like in the trash, like he's gonna take it home with him.
Right.
And so I was just like, I was at the other side of the bar, and I like barely heard him. So I was like, I'm just gonna ignore
Whatever,
this. It's
yeah.
the end of the night. Like if he takes it, whatever. So then pounds the shot, puts it down, and then throws the shot into the glass. And I immediately into the trash. And then I was like, okay, wait.
But
You
why?
were like I know you like fair enough, you did just tell me you were gonna do that, but like what? And then so I was like, okay, that's annoying. Like I didn't want to have to deal with broken glass, but now I am. So I mean, he did make it in the trash, but so then I'm like grabbing the other trash bags and I put it into that trash bag, and the glass goes right into my hand, and I was just like, this guy. I was like, why? What? Should I be mad at him? Should I be mad at myself?
You should be mad at him.
Yeah.
If you wanted to throw something in the trash, you can like give him a balled up napkin.
Yeah,
You know, like-
exactly. Not a glass that we use. And
Yeah.
I don't know, there wasn't any explanation. I didn't ask why he was
Yeah.
doing it, but yeah, so anyways, that's my douche of the week, was dude breaking glass.
That's valid.
It would have been fine had I not cut myself, but I
Yeah.
did actually end up cutting my finger pretty bad after it. So
My douche of the week is I had 2 coolers go down yesterday.
oh no.
And they technically, like, one was just from the storm yesterday, like, so it came back on, but I was getting ready to come over here, so I wasn't able to, like, monitor it, so I had to put the things in a cooler, and then I went back later because it was on, and I took them out of the cooler, but I was like, it was just an extra hassle.
Yeah.
And then here, one of our coolers went down over the weekend, and so that one was a whole separate, like, throw everything out, clean it, reset it, restock it, but
That is the worst.
yeah.
That
So
sucks.
It's almost like worse when I mean, obviously you want to like keep your food safe and you know,
Yeah.
you don't want to lose inventory, but like it's almost worse when the food's still good and you have to like transfer it and try to fit it into another fridge
Yeah.
instead of just like being like, oh, well, it's all bad. I can just throw it all out, you know?
It's almost an easier fix,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you lose more money, but it is a little bit easier.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, is there any last calls? Is there any last things we want to talk about before we get into Patreon? We're all good? No. All right. Well, make sure you come down to Purveyor and see Eva. Yeah. And do you have, what are the socials for
Yeah,
Purveyor? Oh, sorry. That's yours. I just realized. I've been playing with that. I thought it was mine. My bad.
No, you're fine.
Instagram's probably the easiest and most up to date, and it's _Purveyor_DSM.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's, we have an event coming up on Tuesday, September 30th in partnership with the Iowa European Cultural Center.
Nice.
It's just like a tasting dinner menu thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think this might be out after that happens, this episode. But if you're there for it, definitely come check it out. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Well, with that, thank you so much, Eva and Purveyor, for letting us come in here and take up your space. Make sure you check out Purveyor on Instagram. Make sure you follow Poor People Podcast on everything. Check out our new merch as well. We have some really cool new t-shirts. And we're going to get into our Patreon. So that's like all of our uncensored, explicit content. Oh, there's a dog out there just walking around. Oh, cute. And then, we'll see you on Patreon. It's only $5 a month, and we're gonna get into it over there. All right. Thank you so much. We don't have any glasses to cheers.
Oh shit.
That's okay. Yeah, we cheers to these glasses. Yeah. All right.
I can whip one up quick if you want.
We'll just wrap it up, and then we'll do one for Patreon. But oh god, now that I don't have a glass, I don't even remember what our sign off is again. Thanks for watching. For Jesus. All right, for richer, for poor. Thanks for watching Poor People.